Vision 2030 has so many pillars that align with our vision, at Lucid. So we want the sustainability, portion into the transportation side and bringing in the humans, into play. And Vision 2030's Saudi Green Initiative, which basically is trying to get 30% of the cars by 2030 to be electric, is music to our ears.
Hello and welcome to the Mayman Show. We are coming to you from the north of Riyadh at the Lucid Motors Customer Service Center, where we are joined by the president of Lucid Motors in Middle East, Mr. Faisal Sultan. Faisal Sultan is a gentleman who is very intricate in the Middle East's electric vehicle transformation scene. You have a background of automotive engineering, and you are a very savvy businessman, obviously, or you wouldn't be here today. So before we start talking about Lucid and your latest updates and everything, can you give the audience just a small introduction of what Lucid Motors is and how it got its start from Silicon Valley in California to being a big international brand backed by the Kingdom's Sovereign Wealth Fund?
Thank you. Thank you for actually having me on the show. And welcome to Lucid Motors. You are in our customer service center. Look, Lucid Motors is as you said, a California-based company. We started off as a battery company named Ativa, and then we translated into motor manufacturing, but we are really a technological company, a technology company, what I call. So, we are very much all about, bringing new technology into luxury vehicles and give an option where we're not compromising anything. And that's one of the things that we actually use in our slogan now, compromise nothing. And the way we started off is our founders had a vision where we wanted to make sure that the customer is getting a product that has amazing range. It charges at quickest so that the customer doesn't have an inconvenience to charge the vehicle. And our biggest shareholder is PIF and so we are very much intertwined with the Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia. Now we have award-winning Lucid Air on the road. Pretty soon you're going to have the Gravity, the SUV that is going to be available, the 7-seater luxury SUV. It's already available in North American markets, very quickly coming to the Saudi market. We are a global company now. We have our regional headquarters here in Riyadh, where we cover the full GCC. And then, of course, our headquarters, as you said, are in Silicon Valley. And we also have European operations where we are into multiple countries now selling cars.
All right, that's interesting. All right, so just before we jump into your latest product line or range of cars that's going to be released, so the cars, as you said, take the least amount of time to charge and give you more kilometers per charge. Can you give me what your average charging time would be for another EV car, without mentioning obviously the brand or the competition, and just so we can get an idea of the difference between a battery charge for a Lucid Air and a battery charge for another car?
So if you have a DC fast charger, a 350 kilowatt or a 400 kilowatt charger, a Lucid Air will definitely give you 300 kilometers plus within 10 minutes, 11 minutes of charging time. Our closest competitors will probably be around 15 to 20 minutes range. So we've kind of significantly 30%, 40% reduced that time. And it's that initial charge, the speed of initial charge, that matters the most, because as the country in Saudi Arabia is going to get more infrastructure installed, we want the customer to park the car, quickly charge enough kilometers on it, and then move on. because they don't want to be plugged in for 40
exactly.
minutes, 30 minutes. So that's the goal. What really helps us is also the range of the vehicle. So the longest range vehicles that Lucid Air has is 838 kilometers on a single charge. And what that does is gives you that range.
Okay.
So the time between charging is extended in a Lucid vehicle. We are the longest range vehicle in the world right now, currently on the sedan side, and we tend to bring that now technology into our SUV and midsize also.
All right. And then just to translate that to our viewers, so that's like taking a road trip from Riyadh to the Eastern Province and back.
Almost, because you do lose a little bit of efficiency because of the hot weather or the cold weather.
Let's say if we did it in December.
Exactly. So I think, most for sure you're going to be able to make it to Dammam.
Yeah.
And then, you charge it maybe for 10, 20 minutes and be back.
Yeah.
It's not a big inconvenience for our customers.
Not at all. I mean, that's parking at the Corniche, having a nice cup of coffee and a sandwich, and just driving back, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I've the cars that we have in display here are the Lucid Air, which I've driven myself. Very beautiful cars. Tell us a little bit about the Gravity SUV and how it reflects on Lucid's vision for innovation in the EV space.
Yeah, so Lucid Gravity, we did an amazing job on the Lucid Air, award-winning luxury car of the years, multiple, awards. But now we've taken all the technology, all the learnings on our first manufactured car, the Lucid Air, and now we're actually perfecting it in Lucid Gravity.
Okay.
Lucid Gravity is a 7-seater SUV, full-size luxury SUV. It is going to be a state-of-the-art with right height adjustment, 4-wheel drive. The space will be unmatched, interior space for all the fields. All the seats actually fold down and become a flat bed in the back. So, combine that with all the other conveniences that I've already mentioned for the Lucid Air, it becomes an amazing product. It's already won few awards in North America within few months of the launch.
Okay.
And we expect it to continue to dazzle our consumers here in GCC also.
All right. And being a 7-seater SUV, I'm sure that there is high expectations because that's usually what the market in the GCC loves is big 7-seat SUVs.
Exactly. So we have very high hopes of that. We're just around the corner. We're going to start delivering these vehicles very soon. We have an order bank already, and I just can't wait until the customers are going to start seeing this amazing vehicle on the roads.
All right, okay. And so that's not the only car that Lucid plans on launching. I'm sure you guys, as you mentioned, you guys are planning on diversifying your portfolio. So what can you tell us about your midsize sedan, and how do you guys plan on catering to the Middle East market, hubbing from Riyadh?
Yeah, so the midsize actually platform is coming along very rapidly for us. We are going to, as we have announced, I think towards the end of next year, we will, or the beginning of 2027, in that time frame, we're going to have our midsize launch. The good thing is that we're actually going to be manufacturing it within the kingdom also, in our King Abdullah Economic City AMP2 plant. And the buildings actually are, if you go to King Abdullah Economic City right now, you will see that our plant is coming along the construction very rapidly. Most of the buildings are already complete. We're going to start commissioning the equipment very soon in those, and that plant then will produce 150,000 capacity per year. That plant is going to have that capacity to produce this midsize, and it is going to be a global plant for us, and that's going to export outside of GCC also for us. So we're looking forward to that. The midsize will be in several top hats. We will definitely have many top hats on it. It will be a smaller size SUV, crossover, CUV, that type of a category, and it will be a volume product for us. So we expect it to sell globally many thousands and bring our volume up, as an OEM, because the total addressable market for a sedan is very small. With the 7-seater SUV, the gravity it goes up, and with the midsize, it goes up tremendously.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So you mentioned that you guys have a manufacturing plant here. So what motivated Lucid Motors to establish an international manufacturing plant here within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and what's the plans for this manufacturing plant to meet demands?
Yeah. So look, there's a lot of things happening in the world right now that actually now makes a lot of sense for this plant to be in the kingdom for sure, because of the access, the free trade agreements that Saudi has. But quite honestly, when we decided, 2 years ago to put this plant here, it also made a lot of sense at that time because of the geographical location of Saudi Arabia. It's kind of center of the world. Yeah. If you think about it, and if you have a manufacturing plant, you have the Red Sea. The Red Sea has about 13 to 15% of global, trade passes through that. So it really makes sense to have a plant right on the port on the Red Sea, that which can then produce and then distribute the product all over the world from there. And that was one of the biggest reasons. The second biggest reason, really, and actually as important, was the Vision 2030, the transformation that the country is really going through. That transformation aligns perfectly with the vision of Lucid, which is sustainability, which is progress of human capital. All of those are pillars of Vision 2030. Okay. So what we wanted to do is really benefit from that, because if the values of the country are aligning with your brand and with your company, then it's much easier to bring a project here and get it done in a record time.
All right, and in alignment with Vision 2030, how do you guys want to plan on contributing to align with the Saudi Green Initiative of having 30% electric vehicles, basically?
Great point, because I think, as I said, Vision 2030 has so many pillars that align with our vision, at Lucid. So we want the sustainability, portion into the transportation side, and bringing in the humans, into play. And Vision 2030's Saudi Green Initiative, which basically is trying to get 30% of the cars by 2030 to be electric, is music to our ears, because we will produce cars here. We will actually be able to then sell those products also here and help the country get towards this. When you talk about 30% of new car sales, the market size in Saudi in 2030 will be close to 700 to 800,000 new car sales in 2030. 30% of that is 210,000 new electric vehicles to be sold within this country. That's a big number. So having our plant here and having that initiative there definitely is going to help us sell these vehicles.
All right, and being backed by the Public Investment Fund, Lucid is often referred to as the Saudi badge. So how does that translate, locally and internationally for Lucid Motors?
So we're very proud, I think, to be the first automotive brand to have the Saudi-made brand badge on our cars. We're already assembling these cars, as you know. The Lucid Air and now the Lucid Gravity also have started to be assembled in the kingdom. I think that is an amazing emotional connection. It just certifies, how Lucid is really embedded in the auto ecosystem of Saudi Arabia, how it has catalyzed, the formation of an auto industry. And that's a badge that will always remain very dear to our workforce and our consumers at the same time. A lot of our customers come in and they're so proud to be buying a Saudi-made product. It is amazing to see that nationalistic, pride, in play. And I think as we grow and we produce these cars, we're already exporting the assembled Airs to UAE from here. But as the midsize comes and gets fully manufactured, more countries are going to see this Saudi-made product. And it's going to be a pride internationally for the country that a Saudi-made product is on the European roads and Asian roads and wherever electric cars are being sold, a Saudi-made product is on the road. So I think it's a big moment for the country when Lucid was able to really highlight that Saudi is on its way for manufacturing a very high-tech electric vehicle in the kingdom and at a quality level that is same as some of the amazing names out there.
All right. Okay. I mean, obviously, you've tapped into an industry that's near and dear to Saudi's hearts. Saudis, or the GCC in general, is really big on motor vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a passion.
True.
Even before motor vehicles, people here were very basically attached to their means of transportation.
Yes.
Whether it was horses, camels, and now cars.
Definitely.
Now we're going into the EV.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think
So
land of transportation. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So being a Saudi brand, having a manufacturing plant based here in the kingdom, obviously there's plans to work, develop, and integrate Saudi talent. How does that fall into Lucid's recipe of expansion here?
Well, definitely that's one of the most important factor to be successful in this country. I think we really need to develop our people. So what we have done, we have signed an agreement with the Human Resource Development Fund that gives us $50 million over 10 years' time to have at least 1,000 Saudi nationals taken to US, to our California facility, to our manufacturing plant in Arizona, AMP1, and then getting them trained, get the skill sets, and then bringing them back into the Saudi and putting it in. And that process already started.
Okay.
We've had 2-3 batches of people already gone to US and then be back here. They are now proudly working in our offices, in our manufacturing plants, in our studios, in our service centers, even here. So I think that's one of the reasons why we did that. But we have also other initiatives like NAWA, National Automobile Vehicle Academy in King Abdullah Economic City is another of those initiatives where we're taking local Saudi talent through the pipelines from high school, from colleges, and we're bringing them in and we're putting them through a aggressive training program that actually lasts anywhere from 12 months to 24 months to get them prepared. So when the manufacturing plant comes online next year, we have this workforce that can come in and immediately have quality and productivity that really is needed for a Lucid vehicle.
All right. And what gets you really, when you get up in the morning, what gets you excited to be in the sustainability electric vehicle space, in the Middle East right now? Where do you feel that, there is something that just gives you a meaningful feeling about being part of this industry at this time?
Yeah. Look, I think to be part of a historical project like Lucid in a country that really needed the automotive industry as its core industrial revolution, I think away from oil-based industry is something that me and I guess every Lucidians, as we call them, is really proud of. And I think that gets us excited is because we're contributing to something greater than just manufacturing a car. And I think that excites me, that excites my workforce. They're very much proud of what they're doing. I talk to them on a periodic basis, and when we have our all hands meetings, the shine coming out of their eyes is just something that is something that I don't see anywhere else, because there's a national pride behind this, that look, we are getting a Saudi-made product, on the road and trying to change the perception of what a Saudi-made product really looks like. So that excites me because my workforce is excited. They believe in our vision, Lucid's vision, and then they relate it back to the country's vision. So when you put all of that together, it's something special.
All right. And so, what made you want to get into automotive engineering? But let's forget about Lucid.
Yes.
Let's talk about Faisal Sultan.
Yes.
What made you want to get into automotive engineering?
Well, at least this is what my parents tell me. When I was very young, they used to buy me toys.
Yeah.
And I loved motors, motor cars.
Mm-hmm.
But what I used to do is I used to, make them run, put the button on, and let them run. But then I used to take a screwdriver and start opening it to kind of see what's inside,
Mm-hmm.
what makes it run.
Okay.
And so I think it was, that curiosity that was in my thing, that made me become an engineer.
Yeah.
And then, automotive engineer because of that. I got my mechanical engineering degree, and then from there, I always wanted to be in automotive. I've got about 28 years now in automotive companies, and I think I love what I do because, automotive really motivates me.
Yeah.
There's so much more technology now coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, I ended up getting my master's in automotive and then MBA. The MBA really helped me focus on the business part. So I've got best of both worlds, to say. Yeah.
I mean, you and me have similarities. I used to love playing with cars as well as a kid,
Well, we should hire you.
Yeah, I could test drive any of your cars for free. You wouldn't even need to
As
hire
long
me.
as you don't take them apart.
See, that's the thing, is you took them apart to dissect them. I destroyed them to copy the cool 80s action movies with the stunts, like the Fall Guy and what have you, when they get destroyed.
That's amazing.
So we took apart cars just in different ways. And through your professional journey, is there like a moment that stands out that you feel shaped how you are as a leader here now in the automotive industry?
Yeah, so I actually, moved out of home, my parents' home, at a very early age because of studies. My parents were staying, and then they said, at our family home, but they said for further education, please go abroad. And I think that kind of molded me who I am.
Yeah.
At an early age of 16 years, living in North America all alone, doing things basically figuring out how the system works, where is this, where is that, how do you get a license, how do you, I had to do that all myself. So, that really got me matured in a much faster way. They say, girls mature at an early age and boys mature a little bit later. But I think in my case, I probably matured at the same age as my sisters. But but I think that really helped me of who I am today. And it also, gave me the sense of valuing the relationship values, because when you're away from your parents at an early age, you tend to realize how important those relationships are.
Yes.
Family relationships, friendship relationships, seeing them twice a year is very hard for you when you're at a young age. So you kind of start valuing some of these human, connections. And I think my leadership style is all about that.
Yeah.
It's about human connections. It's not only about numbers.
All right, fair enough. And are there any plans to take Lucid to center stage in Hollywood and filmmaking? And a lot of brands did that with a lot of franchises like James Bond, and without naming the cars, obviously.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing, that if any movie company comes and takes our car and features it in it, I think the movie will be a hit for sure.
Right.
Because the car is amazing to drive, as you told us. We're always open to ideas, and we're always, looking for amazing stunts. I don't know if you saw our gravity stunt, where we had, someone jumping from a plane and parachuting. That was an amazing stunt, and we're very proud. We're doing a lot of those type of things in US, and I think in globally also you're going to see more and more of that.
All right, and before we ask you our last question, tell us a little bit about this Sapphire right here behind us. What makes it different than your regular Lucid Air?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an important number because that's the horsepowers in this thing. It's one of the world's most powerful sedans ever produced. It is the most, fastest, the fastest accelerating production car in the world right now. 1.88 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers. It handles beautifully with a lot of space. So that package really doesn't exist. Nothing can beat it in acceleration. They will catch after
Obviously,
half a mile or something.
Right now.
But
what's out there today?
Exactly. It's the color is beautiful. The sapphire color. Yeah. It's got nice, big, thick tires
and you guys are going to arrange to let me try it for a couple of days.
Definitely, you're more than welcome to try it.
Definitely love to.
Exactly. And it's got amazing grip. That's the thing. You might be doing 100 miles per hour on it, but it feels like you're going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You can control it. I would say that it has the handling capability of the best, cars out there that have been around for hundreds of years, OEM.
Okay.
But it has the technology of, the newcomers. So it's a package that doesn't really exist, and I think we're very proud to have this. A lot of, people who really want to stand out, that's the type of crowd that really comes and orders these cars. And takes them and parks them in their garage and drives them with pride.
All right. Well, I definitely look forward to trying it out and driving it with a smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
And before we wrap up our interview, I always ask my guests if they have a personal message. Everyone has a personal message.
Yes.
What is your personal message to the audience?
Well, my personal message to everyone is that, look, be very, very informed consumer. There's a lot of technology that is really coming out, and that is giving a lot of opportunity to the young generation. So my message is really for the young generation. There are so many opportunities with AI, with electric vehicles, sustainability, manufacturing, green initiatives. We all need to do something better, innovate in everything we do. Become more efficient, become part of this technology trend that is coming, and really change the world, because we all have that chance now, because the opportunities are huge in every field because of all the new technology that has come out, the chips that are faster, the AI, the manufacturing, the robotics, connectivity. We're all so much informed with all these iPhones and when I compare myself when I was growing up and as a teenager, I didn't have all of this. The new generation actually has so much more possibilities, and I believe in that future where our young generation is going to really kick in and make this world a better place to live when it comes to sustainability and environment.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. And I'd like to thank you again for being on the show and hosting us here at your service center. I knew it would have a nice mechanical setup, just to give a feel of what motor vehicles are like, right? Or electric vehicles. Sorry.
Electric vehicles.
Yes.
And thank you for being here again. You are always welcome, to come and talk to us anytime.
All right, appreciate that. And before we wrap up our interview, a certain car brand is always known as the ultimate driving machine, but I have a message for you that there is a Saudi-made badge that's going to give you a run for your money. See you later.